Well, good afternoon and a very warm welcome back to the channel. Some of you may have seen this week in the UK version of Motorcycle News the fact that TFT screens have now become a target for thieves. So if you want to see how you might be able to protect your TFT, you want to stick around and watch the video. Okay, so if you saw that article, you will see that actually it's become now a theft item to take the TFT off pretty much any bike, but I'm specifically concerned about the BMW one, of course. Now, if you actually look at your BMW 1250 or even your 1200 if you had it as an option, and look at the way that the TFT is actually fitted to that unit, it really is only fitted with 4 very flimsy fasteners. So if you were a criminal and wanted to have it away, it ain't tough. You grab it by the scruff of the neck and you pull it, and the unit will come away in your hands. Now, it might only be it might be a £500 or £600 option on your 1200 or on your scooter, and of course it's fitted as standard to the 1250, but to replace the unit is £1,200 British pounds, plus of course any other damage that might be done to wiring or anything else while the criminal was actually pulling the unit off. So I was particularly interested to go and see if I could find somewhere where I could secure my TFT, and I came across this company here, which is a great British company, a small British company, so I'm very proud to promote it. They do motorcycle parts. They are motorcyclists at heart, but they do laser cut, powder coated and various other items for specific motorcycles: BMW, Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Moto Guzzi, Triumph, Royal Enfield, etc., and also any other parts which might be standard across multiple motorcycles. But predominantly for this video they do this brace for the TFT screen, and as you can see here, it's a company called Cymarc. That's the actual company name, and they pretty much sell their equipment in stores, I believe, but certainly on their own website as well, which is cymarcbikeparts.co.uk. Now, this is the unit with a sunshade, so you can see there it's got a sunshade, and you can see that this is the shape of the TFT screen on the BMW, and on the side we've got 2 holes here with a brace and 2 holes here with a brace. Now, it's a one piece item, laser cut, as I say, and powder coated, so very well made. And these holes here are actually going to bolt onto our satellite navigation preparation on the BMW, the part that loops up over the top, and then the whole bracket unit will sit down on top of the TFT screen and stop it from being wrenched off. Now, they do 4 models. They do one without the sunshade, so just imagine that without this piece here, and that's pretty much what it is, a plate of metal. That's £39.99. If you have this one with the sunshade, it's £10 extra, and they do a heavy duty version as well, which I don't actually know the price of, but you know, it's probably £60 or £70 or something. But certainly this one, which I hope when we fit it to the bike will show you that it then becomes almost impossible to steal, or to certainly quickly steal the TFT screen, will be sufficient enough. Now, other things can be taken into account. Park your bike if you're away on tour, if you can find a car park, certainly a locked car park, all the better. Certainly have an alarm, certainly have your padlock, certainly have a tracker, and I always carry my cover with me as well, because often out of sight is out of mind. The unit itself, as I say, is the laser cut powder coated unit that you see, and also with this you get a little bag, and inside that bag is the fitting instructions, which we'll go through when we actually fit it to the bike in a second. There is a lovely little marketing thing here: good enough for BMW, good enough for you. Craftsman made and hand finished one-off bike parts produced in Britain by the team. Thank the Lord for men in sheds, it says. And then we get this little certificate of quality assurance, which is ticked in all the right places down here, and then handwritten what it is and the date that the item was sold. In the bag as well, we get a bag of hardware, and the hardware consists of these 4 strips of self-adhesive neoprene, like so, and there's a medium length one which will go underneath here. There's then two shorter ones which will go underneath the sides, and a long one which will go underneath the bottom, and those are actually to protect the bracket from chafing against the TFT screen, and either that and setting up vibration and various other bits. Of course, we get a bag of hardware, so there are 4 bolts to replace, I guess, the bolts that hold the satellite navigation on. A little bit unfortunate that they're hex, either 5 or 6 mil hex bolts there. I do like them to be Torx, because all of the BMW fasteners are Torx, and it means you only have to carry one set of keys, whereas anything hex, you have to carry a second set of keys. But of course, you're very unlikely to have to remove this on any tour, to be perfectly honest, so I sort of forgive them a little bit for that. You also receive 4 locking nuts, so we won't need to use any thread lock, 4 penny washers, which will go one side of it, and 4 standard washers, which will go the other side. So that's the equipment, that's a look at it, that's the reason we want it. Let's get out to the bike now and fit the item on. Okay, so first off we've got to remove this cover and winglets on the side of here, which is 1 bolt here, 1 bolt here, and the same on the other side, and they're a Torx 25, so let's get those out. Just to note, this has got a shoulder, so if this one hasn't, then we need to remember those shoulder ones go in the front. They do both have a shoulder, so we're all good to go. And removal of those 4 bolts just allows us now carefully to remove the front area and the winglets. Now, it may be quite tough to see from here, but here is one of the fixings of the TFT, and as you can see, it simply is like a little sprung circlip with a rubber bung behind it. So if I were to grab the TFT here and pull it with enough force, certainly there's one there. I think there's probably one on each side on the bottom, so it looks like there's probably 3 fasteners, but not very much at all. You could certainly pull that away without any particular difficulty. Okay, so looking at this from the windscreen adjuster side here, you can see that what we're going to do is remove this Torx 30 bolt here and a Torx 30 bolt here, and the same on the other side. And okay, so that's the 2 shouldered 6mm 10mm headed nuts. Okay, so now we've got the 4 bolts off, the 4 nuts off, and the 4 bolts are loose, so we'll apply the brace. Okay, so hopefully now you can see I've applied the neoprene strips to the back. Long one, medium one, 2 short ones, but you can see that in some instances they're a little bit wide, so Nick being Nick, he's going to just trim those off with a very sharp Stanley knife blade. And so there we have it, all nicely trimmed off, trimmed in, so hopefully we won't be able to see any of that once we've actually got it in place on the bike. So we've got the right side now fitted and the left hand still to go, so it's still a little bit loose here, but I just thought I'd give you this to show you. So this is the 5mm, so it's a 5mm hex, and the small washer, and then on the back side of it, so on the inside of it, I should be putting the penny washer and the 6mm nut. What I'd also point out is, if you don't have the nav 5 or 6 prep bracket here, so the brace, you can also contact Cymarc and they will actually supply you with a special spacer which will allow you to space out where the bracket was effectively, so you can still fit the unit. Anyway, we'll fit this other side and then we'll come back to you. So there we have it, as the rain starts to fall, the finished unit, and my TFT is now not able to be lifted from the bike. We'll just show you a few photos of the detail of the fitting and that'll be us done. So there we go. That's the fitting of the TFT anti-theft brace with the sun shield from Cymarc bikeparts.co.uk. So check their website out if you want to buy yourself one of these. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, it'd be great if you could give it a thumbs up. That really helps the channel. Also, if you've got any comments, I love the comments down the bottom, and I pretty well answer 100% unless they're offensive. Certainly if you like this type of video, I've got a tour video to come out. I've got a few more fitment videos coming up shortly. Once we get out of this lockdown and get into spring, we'll be able to do an awful lot more of this and an awful lot more motorcycling, which we're all really looking forward to doing. So if you want to see more of that, then subscribe also and press the bell notification so you get notified when other videos are actually published. Other than that, ride safe, stay safe. We'll see you soon. Thanks a lot for watching.